Are you ready to perform at your highest potential? Welcome to the Performance Matters podcast from GP Strategies, your talent transformation partner. In each episode, we'll interview industry experts and explore best practices and innovative insights to help your organization improve performance.
Welcome to Performance Matters, sponsored by GP Strategies, the podcast and vodcast, where we explore the ideas, innovations, and people shaping the future of learning and performance. I'm your host, Michael Thiel. Here's a question to kick us off. What if your next learning journey wasn't just digital or face-to-face, but smart, adaptive, and powered by AI? I recently came across a blog post that stopped me in my tracks. It was written by someone who's been at the forefront of digital learning for over 25 years. Patrick Billingsley, Principal Learning Consultant here at GP Strategies. His take on the evolution of blended learning from 1.0 to 3.0 was so insightful, I knew we had to bring him on the show to unpack it all. Patrick, welcome to Performance Matters. I'm thrilled to have you here, sir.
Michael, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here too, so I appreciate the kind words already. And I think to begin, it's a fascinating time in L&D right now, as we know. So I'm very glad to be here talking to you today.
Okay, Patrick, honored to have you here. No doubt about it. We finally got our time zones to work. You're in the UK. I'm over here in lovely Phoenix, Arizona. So I wanted to start with the big idea here. So in your blog, you laid out this evolution of blended learning from 1.0 to 2.0, and now, as you've referenced, 3.0. So can you walk us through what's changed and why it matters?
Sure. So briefly, traditionally, blended learning 1.0, we can call it, was thought of as a combination of digital and face-to-face learning. That expanded. So blended learning 2.0, which we've been talking about for some time, expanded to include social learning and coaching. And we had learner journeys with much more varied components, a more varied learning experience. Now with AI in the mix, we're entering the next wave, blended learning 3.0, where learning can become more personalized, more context aware. And it's not just about the delivery. It's about augmenting learning with AI to rethink how we can create smarter design.
I love it. And first of all, I have to say, blended learning 3.0, I feel like we maybe need to get some tattoos or some t-shirts. I think we can really capitalize on this, Patrick. What do you think?
I'll go with that.
Well, yeah, let's do it. Let's get a little patent penned on this thing. I think it's brilliant here. But, I want to say this, though. That's what really struck me, though, is you talked about AI not just supporting L&D teams, but actually transforming the learning experience. So from your perspective here, can you share how that's playing out or even your prediction for how it will play out?
Yeah, so I talked about this in the article. What we're seeing is 3 stages of adoption. So firstly, and this is probably where people are most comfortable right now and we're most familiar with, we're using AI for productivity and efficiency. So we're doing the things that we did before, like content creation, but we're doing it faster. Second, we're doing things now that we couldn't do before. And we're creating new learner experiences where learners are interacting with AI themselves, with role play bots and coaching assistants, for example.
And I have to say, Patrick, that's been alone. If we just stop and appreciate this second phase, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Having role play bots, and you can finally get rid of those awkward role plays where you give 2 people a card and you can do some great things. So let's just appreciate where we're at. That's awesome.
We're making big steps very quickly. And for me, it's a stepping stone because actually I think there's a real opportunity to move forward. And we've talked a lot about where we want to go, which is what comes next. And that's really, truly embedding AI in the workflow. So that's about delivering learning in real time, right where people work.
Yeah, so that's, by your definition, that's really what blended learning 3.0, that's the big opportunity, right?
This is where it can go. That's going to be the difference. That's where it's going to be impactful, yes.
Yeah, and I know it. I've been in this learning world too for I think we're about equal there, about a tie since about the year 2000 for me. And I know for a fact this idea of learning in the flow of work, or as some of your compatriots have said, lit foul,
Yeah.
is the second tattoo we might get. I know we've been chasing that for years. It's been like that Monty Python search for the Holy Grail, and it feels like we're getting pretty close, right?
I think so, yes. The tools are getting better always. We have more options to choose from. The possibilities are expanding. I think there's a mindset here as well. It's about being creative. It's about having a willingness to experiment, to be able to innovate and progress.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting close there. I want to talk about some of these tools, though. You mentioned role play bots and AI coaches.
Yeah.
From your perspective, what's the difference and how should L&D teams think about using them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's important to kind of make a distinction. So we hear a lot from our clients. There's a lot of requests to use an AI coach in solutions. And we need to make a clear distinction. AI role play simulates specific scenarios like handling objections or giving feedback. It's targeted practice with real-time feedback. So it's safe, it's repeatable. AI coaching, on the other hand, is more open-ended. It doesn't give direct answers. So it's about prompting reflection. It's about supporting ongoing development. So both are valuable, but they serve different purposes.
And I think you hit on something here. And sometimes what people ask for, like they might say generically an AI coach, might that actually be something else entirely in terms of what they really need?
Exactly that. It might be a Q&A bot. It might be a searchable knowledge base. And that's why it's important, as ever with everything we do, to really kind of define the experience that you're looking for.
Yeah, and I can really see there's tremendous value. You're almost justifying your role here as the human is really helping divine and navigate that path here. And so speaking of that, let's get practical. So you've painted this vision of learning 3.0.
Yeah.
From your perspective, nuts and bolts, as we'd say here in the US, how does AI, in your perspective, really reshape the blended learning journey?
The best way to describe it, I think, is that it fills the gaps. We talk a lot about kind of space learning, and with AI, we have an opportunity for AI assistants to handle scheduling. We have an opportunity for bots to support learners in between sessions. We can design and deliver immersive simulations that provide realistic practice beyond the workshop itself. We can create nudges to keep momentum going post-program. So it's about building a performance layer, not just a training layer. And, you know, where we are right now, what's most exciting for me working with our clients is that these are still experimental. So we're co-creating all of these experiences with our clients right now.
Yeah, that is exciting. And it's something I know that at GP Strategies, one of the great benefits of working with us is we have an innovation group that is working with professionals like yourself and vetting these potential technologies so clients don't have to burn that time themselves. So everything you're saying to me is really speaking to this holistic value of what we bring to the table as a one-stop shop performance provider here. Absolutely. Now, Patrick, before we wrap, I'm curious here, what are the key things L&D leaders should keep in mind when integrating AI?
Okay, the 5 things that I've tried to summarize. Number 1, keep a human in the loop, always. It's something we reinforce time and again. So human oversight remains critical for quality, for context, for judgment. Number 2, from a design point of view, is to design for balance. So I think we're adding AI. It should enhance the experience, not replace everything that we already have. Number 3, I would say protect data privacy, consider ethics and that area. Number 4, from a technical perspective, ensure integration with existing systems in the learning ecosystem and recommend addressing that as early as possible within the design phase. And final point is to build literacy and to build confidence with your teams, because without that foundation, the impact will be limited. So that's absolutely critical, Michael.
Yeah, Patrick, that's a powerful checklist. I am going to, after this recording, write those down and take those to heart. No doubt. So, Patrick, I want to thank you for joining us and sharing your insights. As I said when we started out, your blog sparked a lot of ideas for me, and I'm sure it will for our listeners as well.
Thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure.
And to our audience, if you're curious about how AI can enable learning and the flow of work for your organization, reach out to our team at GP Strategies. Whether it's learning experience design, learning technology platforms, or leadership performance, or organizational change consulting, we have your back. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to GP Performance Matters on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep evolving.
The Performance Matters podcast is brought to you by GP Strategies. Together, we can create a world where business excellence makes possibilities achievable. You can subscribe to the show anywhere you get podcasts or listen on our website at gpstrategies.com.